What's going on, guys? It is Omit Afro or Balla24, kind of however you know me as. And today I've got a little search and destroy for you. Actually definitely my best search and destroy score ever. I go 20-4 with the DSR. I died a few too many times, but 20 kills, pretty happy with that. My teammates in this game were absolute idiots, and I could have had 2 aces, and I ended up only getting 1 ace because of a teammate, and you'll see it this first round. This first round I killed 5 out of the 6 guys, and then the 6th one I could never find because my teammate refused to go plant the bomb. Instead, he wanted to run by me repeatedly and just shoot to try to give away my position. Yeah, gotta love playing with randoms. But anyways, guys, what I wanted to talk about in this video, and it's a long time coming. I've been saying for, I don't know, probably what, 7-8 months, talking about my job and like at least referring to my job, and I never really formally talked about it. I never said anything about what I do, and I always promised you guys that I would make a commentary about it, and I never have. And you'll see this guy repeatedly is just going to run by me and start shooting a couple times. He was doing it there, spinning in a circle. He'll come back around again after he runs by the bomb site and then start running by me again and start shooting. But I promised you guys I would talk about my job, and I do want to take this commentary to talk about it. And for those of you that don't know, for those of you that don't follow me on Twitter, I've mentioned it a couple times on Twitter. I've ranted about it a couple times on Twitter. I'm a teacher. I am actually a 6th grade social studies teacher, to be specific. That involves teaching world history, ancient civilizations, things like that. Yeah, go figure, the guy that rages, me, is actually in charge of teaching and shaping the minds of 6th graders. Kind of an interesting contradiction there. But so yes, I am 6th grade social studies teacher. For the most part, there are enjoyable moments. I mean, there are some things that I really do enjoy about the job, but in all honesty, I have never been more miserable in this job as I've ever been in my life. I am consistently over the last 6-7 months or 8 months, however long the school year's been going on, been absolutely miserable, and I've hated this job. And my last day is May 24th. That is the last day that students have. That's my last day, and I'm glad that the school year is going to be over because I don't plan on coming back to this job. I'm actually going to go back to Apple. But just to start off, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the history of it and basically how I ended up getting the job. First thing, so after I graduated from college, my degree is in secondary education, which allows me to teach 7th through 12th grade, and specifically focused on history and social studies. And as a part of that, I was obviously looking for jobs teaching anywhere between 7th and 12th grade. So that's middle school, high school. Here in the U.S. Is what we call it, middle school, high school, junior high, I guess you could call it as well. And so I was going to interviews like crazy. I had to interview probably at least somewhere between 15 to 20 times in different schools and different districts, and never got anything. There was one that particularly irritated me, that it was about an hour away from my house, and I drove out to the school on just like on a morning. I had to be at the school by like 8 o'clock for the interview. It took me an hour to get there. And I go through the interview, do everything, well, I felt like it was a good interview. At the end of the interview, they tell me that I was probably the best person that's interviewed, and like as far as the things that I said, the way that I approached things, I was one of the best people that they'd interviewed, but they wanted someone with more experience. And since I was just coming out of college and it was going to be my first year teaching, they passed on me. Well, that pissed me off, because if their mindset for not wanting to hire me was that I needed more experience, why the hell did they bother to call me out to interview in the first place? That basically means to me that they knew from the very beginning they weren't going to hire me, but still wanted me to come out and interview anyway. So that irritated me because I felt like it wasted a lot of my time. But then eventually what happened was, it just so happens that one of my dad's tennis buddies, my dad used to be a professional tennis player, and one of the guys that he plays with just on weekends now was the former superintendent of a school district here. And I've known the guy for 15 years, for a long, long time. And he ended up writing me a letter of recommendation. And So this guy that's a former superintendent, which means he runs an entire school district, writes me a letter of recommendation, and I interviewed in the district that he was actually superintendent of. So that letter of recommendation carried a lot of weight. And ironically, I also interviewed at the school named after the guy. They just opened up a school a couple years ago named after this guy, and I interviewed at that school for an 8th grade position, and I didn't get it. So again, that kind of irritated me because I have a letter of recommendation from the guy that the school is named after saying that I would be great for the job, and I don't know how I missed all those right there, but letter of recommendation saying I'll be great for the job, and they still passed. They said no. So I was completely convinced that I wasn't going to get a job for this school year because it was already like a couple weeks before the school year was about to start, and I still had heard nothing. And so finally, 2 days before the training starts for like new teachers, I get a call from this same school that I interviewed, and a 6th grade position opened up as a social studies teacher, and they wanted to bring me in. They wanted to hire me for that job. I said, great. I completely said, yeah, that's fine. However, there was a catch. Because it was 6th grade, I was I was certified 7th through 12th, which meant that I needed to go get an extra endorsement or like an extra certificate just saying that I'm qualified to teach 6th grade. Well, I went out, I got this endorsement. It actually took me about 2 months to get everything solidified or set during the school year. So until then, I still wasn't officially under contract as a teacher. So I was making substitute pay at the beginning of the school year because they wanted to bring me in for a position that they knew I would still need extra qualifications for, which I had to go pay for out of my own pocket. And once I got that certification, then they signed me to a contract, which as a teacher, you don't make that much anyway. But so I was under contract. I was like, all right, cool. I'm at least here for the school year. I'm set. This is my job, and I'll make the best out of it. Come to find out, about a month later, turns out that I still don't have enough qualifications for the job. So I'm certified, but I'm not considered highly qualified. And so I need to go take another class and another test to become highly qualified now in this school that they hired me for. And it took them till about 2-3 months into the school year before they even told me this, and before the human resources department actually even mentioned this, which irritated me. The fact that, one, either they completely didn't know that I need this, which meant they're idiots and they don't know their job, or two, they knew I would do all this stuff but just didn't tell me. So either way, it irritated me, and I eventually had to go out, do all that, get all that taken. Again, had to pay for it out of my pocket. They're not going to reimburse me for it, for any of the extra trainings, anything like that. So I had to pay for that myself, had to take care of that myself. And then finally, probably about 3 months into the school year, I'm fully, completely considered qualified for the job that I'm in. And I'm putting in a good, 50, 60 hours a week at this job, and also trying to work a second job at that time, or at least early in the school year I was. And I was waking up at 6 in the morning, getting to school at 7:30 in the morning, leaving at 4:30, getting to my second job, which was at Apple, at 5, leaving there at 10, getting home by 10:30, having maybe an hour and a half to do whatever at night, and then go to sleep, do the next thing, I'll do it again the next day. I had no time for anything. And so it kind of was crazy and built up, and eventually had to leave Apple, and now I'm back to just teaching full-time, but only a couple weeks left in the school year. Then I am going back to Apple, not going back to teaching, and hopefully I should have more time. And anyways, guys, I'm out of time here. Wanted to tell you a little bit about my job, a little bit about what I've been doing. Hope you enjoyed. Please let me know, give me your thoughts, and thanks like always for watching. See you later.